Hey, yo everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review, and today we're going to be doing another figure review. That will be of the DC Collectibles New 52 Justice League Superman. The last of the Justice League members that I have to review. Not the last Justice League figure, because Darkseid's still there, and I am going to get him after the Christmas season when I have a little bit more cash on hand. But we're not talking about Darkseid, we're talking about Big Blue today. And boy, am I excited for this figure because, well, it's Superman. And if you notice behind me on top of my TV right there where my thumb is actually pointing at, that's my Superman collection of figures and needs a new 52 figure. And I don't really like the DC Universe Classics New 52 Superman. Though I don't think it's called that. I think it's the DC Unlimited, or the Mattel one just doesn't look that good. But this is Jim Lee, baby. And I love Jim Lee. So I wanted a Jim Lee figure. Now, as with all the DC collectibles Justice League figures, you get the figure itself in the package. A variant, different color depending on the superhero on the side with the silhouette of the superhero. So, Batman's with black, Wonder Woman's was red, Green Lantern's was green, Aquaman's was orange, so on and so forth. Superman's is blue. I think he's the only blue. No, I think Wonder Woman's was blue also, but on the back you see the rest of the figures, and you also see how mine is a little torn up the box. But the two Superman figures that they were, this one was a better looking one, so I don't care about the box. And then on the side you see the figure itself. Again, pretty standard stuff that we seen with the DC Universe collectors, DC Universe collectors, DC collectors, New 52 Justice League figures. Kind of had a hiccup there. I did just wake up, as you can see in the hair. Didn't get home till late last night, so hey, whatever. So I'm gonna open this bad boy up. We'll do a little comparison of his old costume with his new costume. I'll give you my thoughts on the figure, and then maybe we can go out and get a cup of Joe. Sounds good? Be right back. On to the figure itself. And here is Big Blue out of the package. Got a chance to kind of look around with him and got to get a good feel of the figure itself. There was only one minor paint mistake. You can't really see it anymore, but it was right there. See that little white thing? There was actually a blotch of red paint there. I just took out Mr. Pointy and kind of scraped it off. So it's not quite as noticeable. I mean, it's now a white little smear. But hey, shit. I'd rather have that than a big glaring red thing. But besides that hiccup, let's talk about the figure itself. Superman in his new 52 costume. Now, I'm going to talk about the costume and then I'll talk about the actual figure and what I think about that. Superman's costume is, I think, oh, well, there's a little paint wear right there. Shit, you can't win them all. Superman's costume in the new 52 is, I think, pound for pound, the most needed change next to Wonder Woman's costume for, well, his costume. If you look at the traditional Superman costume back in the day, the biggest changes is one, the underwear is gone, the belt is red, and he has the collar on the neck. And then if you look at the back, the S is black rather than yellow. All these changes I approve of, except for I'd rather have the S be the yellow on the back, but it's hard to get used to because we've been seeing this since 1938, 39. This has been the Superman costume. However, if you think about it, I mean, underwear on the outside, the strong man look right there. This updated costume is a much better looking costume for Superman. Yeah, it does take time to get used to, but it's not like it isn't Superman. This is recognizably Superman. There's changes here and there, but I think the changes are for the most part for the best. And you had to get rid of the underwear. Like Batman, you had to get rid of the underwear. So on a whole, I like the new look for the costume. I think it was necessary for Superman. The only thing I wish is that the belt was yellow. I think the yellow would help break it up a little bit more, the color wise, because the underwear used to do that. The great thing about the underwear is it broke up the colors a lot, but you don't really have that anymore. As for the figure itself, we have this beautiful sculpt done by DC Collectibles, which is supposed to signify Jim Lee's art for Superman. Now, there are good and bads to this figure, and more good than bads. The actual mold itself, the body, is just beautiful. And if you compare all the molds of the males figures for the DC Collectibles Justice League figures, you'll notice that they are proportioned differently. So Superman's going to be a little bit more muscular, a little bit more bulkier, kind of like Batman, but I don't know. He's going to be just a little bit bigger because he's Superman. What do you expect? But it is nicely articulated, not articulated, nicely sculpted, and it is nicely articulated. If you look at this figure, he has a good range of articulation, and they weren't stiff joints. They were actually pretty good joints. So, with the exception of his wrists, he has articulation in most of the important areas. So, the body sculpt is beautiful. The face sculpt, there's only one complaint I have with it, and you can't really see it here because actually my camera kind of makes it look a little bit better. But the eyes, I think, are a little squinty. Looks like Superman's squinting. Eh. That's one thing I don't care for. Other than that, the face sculpt is pretty good. The hair is good. It looks recognizably Jim Lee's. And then the cape on the back, which the cape looks great. The only thing I don't like is that it's literally attached at these two ends here. It would have been nice if it was attached right there also, just to give it a little bit more stability. But besides that, the cape is good looking at. The S is big, which is nice. It would have been nice if it was yellow, but hey, shit happens. What are you gonna do? But yes. As for the figure itself, it's a great looking figure. Is it the best of the Justice League DC collectible figures? No. If I had to rank them, it would probably go from bottom to top. Wonder Woman, then Superman, then Flash, then Cyborg, then Green Lantern, then Aquaman, then Batman as the best figure. They're all beautiful looking figures. I think the only one that I have any major gripes with is just Wonder Woman's hair not being the prototype hair that we got, being this weird kind of hair that kind of does show up in Jim Lee's art, but not like it is on the figure. But I've been thoroughly impressed with these Justice League figures, and I've been happy to get them. Other than the paint mistakes on this figure, which I'll have to fix up on my own free time, it's a great looking figure, and I do recommend getting it. And again, if you do a comparison between the Superman of old and the Superman of new, it does take time to get used to the new Superman look, but it's definitely a better looking Superman. And you know what I particularly like about this Superman is he has a nice S. An S, not an S. S. I always like it best when the Superman symbol is covering a good majority of his chest. I don't like it when it's small because actually this one is an example. It's kind of small. It's kind of rinky dinky there. You notice it doesn't cover all of his chest. With this covers pretty much almost all his chest with the exception of the side areas, and it's a big S, which I like. So yeah, DC Collectibles New 52 Justice League Superman. He's super. Pick him up. This is Andrew saying peace out for now.